Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for coming and giving me an opportunity to serve here again. I seek permission and blessings of Jagat Purush Prabhu and all the other senior devotees and all of you here. Thank you. I'm very grateful. Actually, I'm feeling so happy. This topic I've been given, emotional intelligence, Bhakti Yoga and emotional intelligence. What exactly is that? Emotional intelligence and Bhakti Yoga, something like that. And when I got the topic, I said, wow. Because Veer Krishna Maharaj's book, Compassionate Communication, was one of the first self-help books I read. And it resonated with me so much. And he speaks on this, understanding our needs, feelings. And then the topic given to me here is the same. So I was feeling, wow, this is Krishna's arrangement for me to appreciate and express my deep gratitude to Maharaj for understanding this important aspect of Krishna consciousness, to become aware of our needs, feelings, and offer them to Krishna for healing, and have wonderful Vaishnava relationships. So thank you everyone, and thank you to His Holiness Srila Veer Krishna Goswami Maharaj also. Hare Krishna. So I want to briefly share with you the what, why and how of emotional intelligence from the Bhakti Yoga perspective. Because, okay, let us face it. We are not rational beings as social scientists would like us to believe. We are always told human beings are rational beings. That's true. But at the core of it, we are emotional beings. Rationality is only tip of the iceberg. Below is so much of emotions. And even that rationality which we have, we generally use it to justify our emotions. So what drives us is emotions. So let us briefly understand what, why and how of emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence? When are we emotionally intelligent? So there are two aspects to this: awareness and ability. When we are aware of our needs, feelings, desires, generally our needs, feelings, they overwhelm us so much that our identity is kind of merged with it, and that drives us. But when we are aware, oh, this is not me, this is my need, which is separate from me, these are my desires, this is the feelings that are arising in me. When we have the ability to observe what we are going through, that is awareness. So the awareness of our needs, feelings, desires, and the ability to navigate through it. The ability to understand others' emotions, the ability to know our own emotions, the ability to navigate through this. So the awareness and ability of our needs, feelings, and emotions, and the ability to navigate through it, the ability to control it or regulate it, this is called emotional intelligence. Is this okay? Clear? Awareness of our needs, feelings, desires, and the ability to control them or regulate them is emotional intelligence. And studies have consistently proved that people with very high IQ need not necessarily be successful unless they have also developed their EQ, emotional intelligence, emotional quotient or emotional intelligence. Now, I want to ask all of you, why do you think this is important to develop our emotional intelligence? What do you think? How do you think we stand to gain if we develop our emotional intelligence?
Mind will kill us.
Mind will kill us if we develop our emotional intelligence. I thought I heard that. What is the answer? Okay, yes, Mataji.
So that we can have empathy for other people.
Yes.
Know how
Yeah.
feel.
Yes. Empathy, and when we empathize with others, we get their love and wishes, good wishes and blessings. And blessings is the most important aspect in Krishna consciousness. That's a great way to get blessings. And if we can understand others and empathize. Thank you. Anything else? Why we need to develop our emotional intelligence?
Yes, not only self-awareness, but the surrounding people around us.
Yes. Yes. I think emotional intelligence, one of the greatest advantages is it helps us not only improve our interpersonal communication, it also helps us improve our intrapersonal communication. Now, we focus a lot on interpersonal communication, but we need to also be able to communicate with ourselves. Yes, thank you. Anything else? Yes.
They need to be tempered.
The need?
The need for the emotions to be tempered.
Tempered, yes. We can regulate our emotions. We'll be in charge of our lives. Or else the emotions can, you know what Daniel Kahneman says, emotional amygdala hijack. The feeling brain hijacks us and the thinking brain is gone for a toss. So that can happen. We can temper them. Anything else? I saw a hand here, yes.
Rather than mind, mind may be
I'm sorry, I lost you.
rather than mind be killed by it, then the mind will be relieved by it.
Yes, the mind would be relieved. Yes.
Rise to the next level.
Yes, we can evolve. We can rise. Yes. These are very profound points. Thank you. Yes. So I think all of us, more or less, we know that we need to develop emotional intelligence because we all struggle with emotions. You know, many of us, we are just a phone call away, one WhatsApp message away from many hours of disturbance. Just we get one message and we get disturbed. So okay, let us now discuss how do we develop our emotional intelligence. So as a bhakti yogi, we are all practicing bhakti yoga. How do we develop our emotional intelligence? So there are two aspects to this. One is, remember the definition, there is awareness of our emotions and also the ability to regulate them. So regarding awareness, if our spiritual activities are not intense, not attentive, then we may need some semi-spiritual activities. Like when our spiritual activities like chanting, hearing, when it becomes mechanical, boring, then I've seen that when I'm not focused on my spiritual activities, I've seen semi-spiritual activities help me improve my awareness. Like breathing, journaling, praying, nature walks, all of that helps us improve level. Because a lot of clutter here, it gets removed. Just like go to the washroom and remove the stuff from your body. Similarly, when you do breathing, journaling, praying, or go on a nature walk, a lot of things get released. So awareness improves when we have some semi-spiritual habits. But if we are attentive in our spiritual practices, especially if we have performed hearing, chanting, service in sattva guna, in mode of goodness, because this is the way it was traditionally performed, before the emergency mode of preaching took on us, and then we are unable to connect to ourselves, or when the passion busies us, the passion overwhelms us, then it becomes difficult. But if we can be attentive, pause in mode of goodness, then we can improve our awareness. But I personally need these 4 activities: breathing, journaling, praying. This is what I practice. And nature walks. This helps me connect to myself and become aware of my needs, feelings, and desires. But there are 2 aspects. Awareness is one. What is the second? More important. The ability to control them. And to control and regulate our emotions, there are 6 things I want to share with you. There are 3 principles and 3 techniques that I know devotees practice, and I myself am trying to practice them, and I will share them with you now. First, let me share with you some very practical 3 tools which can help us become emotionally stronger and more aware. One of the most powerful is practice of gratitude. Generally, we think gratitude is a feeling. Oh, I'm feeling grateful. I don't feel grateful. How can I feel grateful? Well, that feeling of gratitude, when it comes in our heart, that's a gift of Krishna. Because you can't create a feeling. Oh, let me feel grateful. It doesn't come. It's a gift. I've sometimes been overwhelmed with gratitude to some devotee, and I'm like, how am I feeling so much love and gratitude? That's Krishna's gift. That's God's gift. So what do we do then? Do we just wait for that gratitude feeling to arise in the heart? No. Gratitude is also a practice. Gratitude is a choice. It's not simply an abstract feeling or a gift that Krishna gives. Krishna will give that. But from our side, we can do three things as a practice of gratitude, and we can reap the benefits almost instantly. And the first is, make gratitude specific. Don't say general gratitude. Like when we meet devotees, we say, Prabhu, thank you for everything. Thank you for everything is thank you for nothing. Kunti Maharani, she doesn't do general gratitude. She says specific. Vishan Mahagne Purushada Darshana Vasat Sabaya Vanavasa Krichrita Mrude Mrudene Kamaharata Strato Braunastratarshas Mahare Virakshita. She's thanking Krishna. You saved us during the fire at Vanavrata. You saved us from the Bakasur demon. You saved us. So she's recalling specific. Thank you, Krishna, for 1, 2, 3, 4. So specific. And secondly, you can make gratitude fresh. Like we like fresh vegetables, fresh fruits. Because I was practicing gratitude every day, and then after a few days I found it so boring because thanking my parents every day, I couldn't invest emotions there. I couldn't feel grateful. So then I realized it's getting cliched, it's getting mechanical. So then I started this new thing, and it was amazing. Fresh gratitude. What am I grateful for in the last 24 hours? What has happened in the last 24 hours? What did I see, do, hear, feel, or go through? What has happened for which I'm really grateful? So that kept me awake, attentive throughout the day, because I had to put it on my journal. So I was looking out for things to be grateful for, and I realized even if I don't feel grateful for something, that search for gratitude itself keeps you happy. So that's fresh gratitude. What is the first principle of gratitude? Specific. Second, fresh. Of course, we should also be grateful for all the past. It's not that I'm discounting that. I'm just saying, if you are struggling with expressing gratitude, then look for something in the recent timeline. And third, very, very important, whenever you express gratitude for anything, answer the question why. Why am I grateful for this? When we answer why, that's when emotions get added. That's how we develop our emotional intelligence. Otherwise, it becomes a tick box. Why am I grateful? Okay, I had nice prasadam yesterday. Somebody fed me nice. I know this sounds very stupid. We are supposed to be praying for Shuddha Bhakti, but I'm just being very practical. Sometimes, I get some nice prasadam. Thank you, Krishna. Yesterday was such nice prasad. Thank you. That is specific and fresh. Now, why has to be answered? Why am I grateful for getting such excellent prasad? One sentence is enough. Just somehow you answer why. And that's where you become honest. So I was struggling. Why? Okay, I had to admit. Thank you, because Krishna, I'm a foodie and I love good food. This may not be the best answer, but that's an honest answer. And that honesty is when we attract the Lord's attention. So gratitude, when it has three aspects. What is the first? Specific, fresh, and why. So this is how we develop gratitude. Srila Prabhupada writes in the first canto purport, that conversation between Bhumi and the Dharma. He says, only a fool is ungrateful to his benefactors. Very emphatically, Prabhupada writes about gratitude, because there he explains what is knowledge. He says 5 aspects of knowledge, and one of them he says is gratitude. So therefore, this is the first aspect of, remember we are discussing how to develop emotional intelligence, and within that we are discussing 3 practical tools right now. And the first practical tool is gratitude, and gratitude has to have these 3 elements, components: fresh, specific, and reason. Second practical way of developing emotional intelligence is through cultivating appreciation. Now again, appreciation can be cliched. It can be like, oh, I appreciate everyone. No, I am asking about appreciation at level 3. There are different levels at which we appreciate devotees. First level is, I am very grateful to Manish Prabhu because he helped me so much. He's so nice. I really appreciate him because he's so good, he's so loving, he's so caring, and he's got such an amazing service attitude. So all these are appreciation. But the first level of appreciation is where I'm appreciating all these qualities in context of how I've seen those qualities manifest in his relationship with me. It's centered on me. Oh, he's so caring. When my mom was sick, he went out of his way. He dropped everything and he came to my house. He spent time with me during COVID. He took my mom to the hospital. He cooked in the house. He helped me so much. He's got such a nice service attitude. So I'm appreciating him, but I'm talking about myself, which is good. We're not impersonalists. That's nice. But it's essentially about appreciating him in the context of me. The second level is I appreciate him independent of me. Imagine I don't exist on this planet, but I'm able to see his life. Can I appreciate him? Are you getting this? So same Manish, I appreciated him initially because he was doing so much for me. Now I appreciate him. Oh, he's such a hardworking man. He loves his parents. He goes to every year to Gaya. He performs Pindatarpan for his father. He cooks for his mom on Saturdays and Sundays. And he treats her so nicely. And then he serves all the devotees. So I'm appreciating him. There is no me here. This is the second level of appreciation. And third level of appreciation is when we are able to connect his beautiful qualities to divinity. We are seeing some connection between what is really appreciable in him to what is also existing in the cosmos, in the universe, in God, in pure devotees. Like what Manish is doing. Oh, he's always going every year to serve his father. This is how Srila Prabhupada did. Srila Prabhupada dedicated his Krishna book to his father. And Manish is always serving his mom. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is known as Matra Bhakta Shiromani, the greatest devotee of mother. So he is somewhere carrying the fragrance, he's carrying that quality, the divinity, he's carrying that energy. Srila Prabhupada could see this. Srila Prabhupada could appreciate devotees and connect them to divinity. He saw little Saraswati running around asking Krishna. Prabhupada took her doll. She had a Krishna doll and she kept asking, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And Prabhupada was so happy. And Prabhupada saying, she is teaching us how to long for Krishna. So Prabhupada could see Saraswati embodying the principle of the gopis. With one historian, Srila Prabhupada is talking. There's a long conversation, 2-hour conversation. You'll find it on the Vedabase. I think it was Toynbee, one very, very highly accomplished British historian and author. And they have such a pleasant, warm conversation. And in the middle of that conversation, that gentleman says, Your Holiness, I am a British educated. I am very, very poorly educated on spiritual subject matters. I am not as learned as you. And Srila Prabhupada immediately says, oh, you are displaying qualities of Trinadapi Sunichena. Srila Prabhupada could immediately see divinity in him. So it is so sweet, Like I was mentioning day before yesterday, that Prabhupada's lecture in Vrindavan. He's in Rupa Goswami Samadhi and he's connecting this young boy, 20-year-old Rishi Kumar, who is a Goswami. Prabhupada calls him repeatedly Goswami in that lecture. Our Rishi Kumar Goswami, he's doing so much. And then Prabhupada is talking about Rupa, and he's saying, we are at Rupa Goswami Samadhi. And Rishi Kumar Goswami is representing Rupa Goswami. That's seeing divinity, that is appreciating him and seeing his connection, the parampara. There are many examples like this. I remember one pastime in the Lilamrit where this boy would dance very narcissistically and he was like disturbing a few devotees. So the devotees complained to Srila Prabhupada that we shouldn't allow him to dance. Prabhupada said, no, he dances like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, this is a workshop I generally do. Actually, you can try this in your own respective Bhakti Vrikshas. Once in a few months, you could all come together, pair up. Like I like what Ajita Narayan Prabhu does after the class. He makes you pair up with another person and discuss the summary of the class. So like that, you could pair up and then appreciate any person you like and do the 3 rounds. First round, appreciate that person in the context of how that person has helped you. Then you can appreciate that person independent of you, and then you can see divine qualities, and you can take the help of your partner, and you can come out with amazing things. I once did this workshop with our counselors in Mumbai, our senior leaders, And the women were sitting like this, men here, so they all paired up. And in the end, I said, any realizations? And one lady raised her hand. She was a very senior Mataji in our congregation. And she said, thank you so much for this exercise, Prabhuji. Because of this exercise, now I'm able to appreciate my husband very much. I said, really? Can you please elaborate? So she said, my husband, he has this special intuitive ability that he comes to know when I'm going to be miserable. So he would tell me, because both of them are high-flying executives, they're in very big corporate job. So she said that my husband would know that, okay, we have this social party, these meetings, this get-together, and he would tell me, I think you shouldn't go today because these people will be there and you will be uncomfortable and you won't have a good experience. And I would get upset with him that, he's not wishing me good. I want to go for the party, and I would go for the party nevertheless, disregarding his request. And then I would exactly have the same bad experience which he predicted. And then instead of thanking him for his foresight, I would say, because you cursed me, I had a bad experience. But thanks to this exercise, now I'm able to appreciate my husband's intuitive ability. So I said, all this is great, but did you do the third round? Remember the third round? You have to see some connection with some divinity. So do you see some connection of your husband to any divine aspect? And she said, yes, from Srimad Bhagavatam. Who do you think she connected her husband to? Huh? Lord Shiva and Sati. Sati was told by Lord Shiva, don't go for your father's yajna. And she went and she had a bad experience. So then she said, in that big assembly, she is declaring, thank you, Prabhu, for this workshop. Now I can see my husband as a representative of Lord Shiva. And everybody said, wow, very good, very good. And that Prabhuji was also sitting in the class. And he got excited and he raised his hand. He said, thank you, I want to say something. And in this August assembly, I want to confess that I'm feeling so happy that my wife can at last see me as a representative of Lord Shiva. But I must confess to all of you that I've always seen my wife as representative of Mother Durga. So he always saw her as Durga, fiery Durga. So, but then it was very sweet, when we appreciate. So what is happening here? The psychological thing, how our emotional intelligence is developing because of this? Because generally, we are full of ourselves. Even when we express gratitude, appreciation, it's all about I, me and mine. But when we practice appreciation at level 3 and level 2, we are going beyond the self. We are touching a higher dimension of happiness. There is a beautiful reality beyond I. We need to access that also. And that's when our mind opens up. So that's the science behind appreciation. And the third aspect of developing emotional intelligence, a practical tool. Remember, we are discussing 6 aspects on how to develop emotional intelligence. First, we are discussing 3 practical tools, and the first tool was gratitude. Second, appreciation. And third is a culture of prayer. And yesterday we discussed, those who were there present yesterday, prayer is when we choose our thoughts and receive Krishna's presence. I'll repeat this. When we choose, when we make a thought choice, and then we are present, we receive Krishna's presence, that's when prayer happens. So when we have a culture of prayer, our emotional intelligence gets sharpened. Then we are able to see things from Krishna's point of view. And we are able to stop the tsunami of emotions that are threatening to blow us away. I'll give a simple example. Again, a success story, but not that I'm always successful. But this convinced me how I could be emotionally stable if I have this ability to make a thought choice. So I have a very close brahmachari friend in the ashram who's also a very hardcore manager. So he called me and he said, Vraja Bihari, you're coming for our youth yatra, which is leaving in another 12 hours. Tomorrow morning you're leaving. Pack up your bags and you're coming. And I didn't want to go because I was already burdened with a lot of things. So then I negotiated with him and that discussion. And he's a manager who can never take a no for an answer. So that conversation lasted almost an hour. He said, okay, then I take a commitment from you for next year. And I was equally determined. I said, Prabhu, no, next year also I can't. And then, okay. Then finally after that, he said, okay, 2022, you're coming. I said, no, 2022 also I'm committed. And then 7 years later, he took a commitment from me. He wanted to be satisfied. He got satisfied only when I could promise him something after 7 years. That was kind of, he wanted an ego victory. So anyway, we are sweet, we have a good relationship. But then after that 1 hour of conversation, I got tired and I was sitting in my chair. And that's when I realized I have 3 thought choices in front of me. The first thought choice was, nobody loves me in the ashram. People approach me only when they have service. I'm only used. This is a choice I had. If I choose to cultivate this thought, what are the feelings I will develop? Depression, tamasic. These are tamasic thoughts. Feeling cheated, hurt. Then I had another choice. Yes, now he knows my value. I'm indispensable after all. And he was desperate. This shows I'm really good in what I do. This is Rajasic thoughts. So if I cultivate these thoughts, what feelings will arise? False pride, arrogance, conceit. So I had a third choice, thought choice. I am so fortunate, I'm still wanted in the community. I'm getting an opportunity to serve. I'm needed. It's unfortunate I can't go for this yatra. But I'm valued. I'm in need. I'm humbled. Thank you, Krishna. So this is the way I could also choose thoughts. And if I choose these thoughts, what feelings would arise? Gratitude. This is sattvic. And we are able to connect with Krishna better. So prayer, when I'm talking about prayer, I'm talking about choosing thoughts. So these were the 3 practical ways we can emotionally grow. We can make our emotional intelligence strong. But these 3 practical tools are based on 3 core principles of Vaishnava culture, which we cannot ignore at all. And the first and most important is scriptures. Without Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, our intelligence can be contaminated. I do a lot of journaling workshops, and I've done 3-hour journaling workshops many times. And people think journaling will solve all their problems. I always give a disclaimer. Journaling is dangerous if you're not connected to higher intelligence. In fact, Adolf Hitler used to write journals every day. Because our intelligence is a servant of the mind, unfortunately. And intelligence, many times, because it is directed with a false ego, it can create havoc. But when we connect to scriptures, we are accessing cosmic intelligence. We are accessing the Lord's intelligence. So that when it directs our mind and our emotions, we are able to have control over our lives. There's one letter of Srila Prabhupada, which is my all-time favorite letter. July 8, 1972, Srila Prabhupada's letter to Bhagavatananda. Please read it. I think you'll get it on the Veda base. In that letter, Srila Prabhupada writes an amazing two incredible benefits we'll get if we study scriptures every day, regularly. First, he says, if you study and hear scriptures regularly, daily, he says, first, all the confusions of your mind will vanish. Isn't that beautiful? Because we all go through these confusions and disturbances. All the confusions from your mind will vanish. And then second, he says, you will see Krishna face to face. I'll repeat. First is, all confusions of the mind will vanish. And second, you will see Krishna face to face. So scriptures are extremely important because when we connect with scriptures, we develop jnana, vairagya, aishwarya and dharma. Here in this context, aishwarya refers to the ability to control our senses. Dharma refers to living in adherence to universal principles. Vairagya refers to smooth, seamless detachment from things that take us away from Krishna. And jnana refers to the power of discrimination, the ability to discern what is right and wrong. And emotionally weak people they are unable to discern, and they suffer because of a poor mind. So intelligence can become strong when we have connection with scriptures. This is the first principle. This is not a technique, this is not a tool. This is a sacred worship of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. And second principle is honesty, authenticity, vulnerability. I'm not saying go around telling all your problems to everyone. It's not that you download everything, but at least one or two trusted devotees. Okay, even if because of circumstances you have nobody to trust and you can't share your heart, at least be honest to yourself. Let us not, pretension destroys our emotional stability. Srila Prabhupada, one of his most endearing qualities was his disarming authenticity, his honesty. During last days of Srila Prabhupada on this planet, he was in Rishikesh and he fell very sick. This is May 1977. Devotees thought he was going to leave his body. They rushed him from Rishikesh to Vrindavan. And a message was sent to Vrindavan that Srila Prabhupada is leaving his body. This is actually 5 months before he actually left this world. In fact, after this, he went to London also for a tiyatra. But at that time, they didn't know. They thought he's leaving his body. So they come to Vrindavan temple, and meanwhile, all devotees are waiting there for Srila Prabhupada, and they're all anxious. Oh, Srila Prabhupada is very sick. He's going to leave the body. And Prabhupada comes to the temple hall, and he gives a power-packed class. What is there to fear? Death can come at any time. Everything is there in the books. We are not the body. We are the soul. And devotees start crying, because they are feeling Srila Prabhupada is alluding to the fact that he may leave us now. And after that class, it's a power-packed class. Don't lament. Take shelter of Krishna. But look at Prabhupada's authenticity, vulnerability. He is so weak. And he's taken to his room. His house is behind the temple. As soon as he enters the house, he looks at Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj and he falls on his arms and he says, Tamal, please encourage me. And then Tamal Krishna Maharaj starts appreciating Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada, after some time, says, thank you. And then he says, Prabhupada, every day we'll get devotees to encourage. And Srila Prabhupada says, thank you. And then every day devotees come and share stories of their book distribution, and Prabhupada becomes very happy. Because his encouragement for Prabhupada means to expand the preaching mission. So Srila Prabhupada becomes very... And Srila Prabhupada has many such beautiful qualities, like beautiful instances of this quality. Like the most favorite of mine is that 1977 February, 72 I think, yeah. They were in Bhubaneswar, Orissa. And they were traveling with a big party, and there was a Marwadi cook also called Shantilal. He used to make very good prasadam, but not for Prabhupada, for all other devotees and sannyasis. Prabhupada was given strict diet, non-spicy prasad by Mother Palika and one more Mataji, I forget her name. So these two Matajis would cook, because Prabhupada's health was not good. So then you would take that non-spicy prasad, and the sannyasis, you would be talking to them. Matajis would be in the kitchen or winding up or in their rooms. Prabhupada would tell the sannyasis, can you get me something that Shantilal has made? So the sannyasis would happily oblige. And Srila Prabhupada would say, oh, this is so nice. And they would laugh and they would talk. And then the Matajis would hear in the kitchen. They would get a feeling that, oh, Prabhupada is maybe eating the food that is not supposed to eat. So they would come running outside. Prabhupada, like a loving daughter would admonish the father out of love. They would say, Prabhupada, you're not supposed to eat this. It's not good for your health. It's not agreeable. And Prabhupada would be quiet. He would say yes. He would nod. He would not protest. And then the Matajis would scold him lovingly, and then they would leave. And then Prabhupada would be quiet. And again, next day during lunch, after some time, you would tell the sannyasi, oh, you made kachoris today? Get me that kachori. So this happened a few times. So one day, Srila Prabhupada said to all the sannyasis that this is the best prasadam. I am so happy that we can eat this prasad and go back home, back to Godhead. And then all the sannyasis laughed and they cheered. So when they said that, the Matajis were inside in some room and they understood that Prabhupada has again broken this agreement. So they came rushing, and this time they were really upset. They said, Prabhupada, it is not fair. We are really concerned about your health. We want you to be healthy. Please don't eat all this prasadam. Eat only what we cook for you. We insist. And all the sannyas are looking at Srila Prabhupada. They're all sitting here, and Prabhupada looked at them, and you know what he said? He said, yes, you are right, but the prasadam you give me has no taste. And he said, it has no spice, and no spice means no taste. And no taste means no life. And no life means it's better to be dead. And then Prabhupada said, it's better to eat this Mahaprasad, this spicy prasadam. All glories to Mahaprasad. And then Prabhupada said that all the other devotees were sitting in the room. They all cheered Prabhupada. And then everybody laughed, and even the Matajis laughed, because they saw a very sweet human. Now you don't have to give purpose to this pastime. See, the point I'm making is, if you want to join the army, they test you on your mental abilities, your physical prowess, and then you're qualified to join the army. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's army, if you want to join, the main qualification is authenticity, honesty. This is where I am, Krishna, and I'm yours, and I'm yours. So this is the second principle. What is the first principle? Shastra. Second, honesty. And third is the most important, it is blessings. Blessings, we need to always be in the space of good wishes of devotees, blessings, and then our emotional intelligence develops. Now, there are two aspects to blessings. The first one, maybe a little, just let me explain this. The first one is, blessings also praying for others. It's not that I'm somebody who can bless you, or you don't have to think that I can bless everyone. That's not the point I'm making. But we need to also pray for others, because when we do that, we see that our own intelligence, emotional intelligence becomes strong. Not simply lip service. Prabhu, I am praying for you. No. Consciously choosing a thought of prayer for others. This is called as blessing journal. When we offer blessings, not because I am somebody great who can offer blessings. Now, that's not the mood. Because, devotees are going through difficulties, right? We all have some challenges. So when we offer prayers for others, we feel nourished emotionally. This is the most amazing self-help tool. Praying for others. In a humble, genuine way. Not that we are somebody great. Like, I'll give an example. Yesterday, one Mataji told me, Prabhu, my son is now 18. Nimit, I think. He's 18, he's going to college. So in my prayer journal in the morning, just one line. Write his name, and then, Krishna, please protect him as he enters a turbulent phase of his life. He's young, he's energetic. Please. So this takes one sentence. So then write another name. Two words are common in every name. Krishna, please. And then either you write or you speak. Sometimes you can also offer a prayer when you are chanting or in front of the deities. Praying for others is an amazing experience to become emotionally liberated. Because we are acknowledging a reality beyond ourselves. We are sending out good vibes. We are sending out energy of Krishna. We are wishing Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. It's easy to say all this, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, but we are practicing this. I did this experiment for 3 weeks. I'm feeling a little shy sharing this, but I have to share this. I did this experiment for actually 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. Every day write a prayer for others. And on the last day, not the last day because, I didn't count as such, but it was one of those, I think 3rd or 4th week. I was standing in the Guru Puja in temple, and I looked at the devotee who was doing Guru Puja Aarti, and overwhelming feelings of love for him arose in the heart. I was like, he's like another devotee, I know him, but not that I feel so much love for him always. I'm like, where is this coming from, And I couldn't handle it. So I looked back, I came towards the deities, and I'm looking at the deity, and I saw 2 brahmacharis cleaning the altar floor. Oh, Krishna is so nice. So much love and appreciation for those 2 devotees. Then I saw some children running. I said, Krishna, if I've done anything good, let it all go, all the benefits, all the credit go to these children, like that. I was just going out. I was on another level. I had never experienced that before or after. That kind of wanting everybody else to be happy. And that night when I was writing my journal, I was like, where did this come from? I realized because the whole 3-4 weeks I was in that space of wishing good for others. So that made me my problem seemed irrelevant. नहीं हिंदी they was saying दुनिया में कितना गम है मेरा गम कितना कम है. There is so much misery in this world and my misery is nothing compared to that. And then when we pray for others, we actually feel positive, we feel happy. So this is one aspect of blessings. But there is another aspect of blessing which is the most important. And that is when we are dependent on blessings, that's when we are associating with devotees. What is the definition of association? We all say association is most important in bhakti, right? But generally association is at 3 levels. First level is physical association. I'm with devotees, Prabhuji, but what are you doing? Oh, we all 3 are going to a movie theater. Or we are going to a liquor bar. That is not association. Physical association is not association. Second level of association is this. We are hearing and chanting together. We are serving together. This is very powerful. Shaunakadi Rishis explain this. Shudrayusham Ranamanga Martyanam Ritamichatam. Yopahuto Bhagavan Vritti Shamitra Karmani. When we are in this class, who's come for the class? Yamraj has come for the class. He's sitting here. He's looking at all of us. Who is in the class? Oh, that Prabhuji is here. Mataji is here. Okay. Yamraj is here in the class. So this association is very good. And later on, when we die, if our file goes to Yamraj, by chance, you look at the file and he will say, oh, I know this person. I saw him in that class. Don't touch him. Yeah, he was sleeping in the class, but it's okay. He wasn't sleeping at home. He came to the temple. It's okay. He'll clear that. So this association is very powerful. Associating and hearing and chanting is very powerful. But this is second level of association. This is not the highest level of association. The third and most important aspect or definition of association is when we are in the association of devotees or we are not physically there. But more important, are we depending on their blessings? When I'm depending on their good wishes and blessings and I'm aspiring to serve them, that is association. And that's when everything changes. Srila Prabhupada, after his Vyas Puja, he was going out and he said, in the Vyas Puja lecture, he says, you are doing so much for me. I don't know how I can reciprocate with you. I can only pray for you. So that's natural. Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya, Guru, and he's praying for everyone. Everybody felt happy. I can only pray for you. Everybody was happy. And then after the class, he gets off the Vyasasana and he's going out of the temple hall. And he sees Shivananda Das. He catches him. He says, Shivananda, pray for me. Prabhupada, you are the one who will pray for us. You will bless us. Because just now, this is a paradox, right? Just now Prabhupada said, I'll pray for you. And now he's saying, pray for me. So, it's a little incongruent. He said, no, Prabhupada, you will pray for me. Prabhupada said, no, you are a Vaishnava. So, Srila Prabhupada was teaching that we have to be dependent on others' prayers, others' blessings. Actually, I am here in US. Okay, I want to make this confession. Every year I travel out for 3 months in a year. And this year I was the most nervous because first time I was traveling for 8 weeks to US at a stretch. I never traveled for 8 weeks outside Mumbai for preaching. I was very nervous. But I met many of my brahmachari friends. I asked them to pray for me, bless me. And today is the last day. Actually, tomorrow is the last day and I'm flying back day after tomorrow. And I can honestly confess in front of Sri Radha Golokananda that this was the best trip of my life, because every day I was hearing my Guru Maharaj's class, Prabhupada's class, worshipping my deities, and I was calling up my brahmachari friends every day. At least one devotee I was talking to. And every day, Chapati Bhagavatam class I was hearing wherever I was in America, and then connecting with that devotee, telling him what I liked in the class. So I was emotionally connected because I wanted their blessings. So now when I look back, I'm like, I was so nervous, so unsure, and right now I am in the best consciousness that in the last few years, this has been the best period of my life. Is it because of me? No. It's not me. It's a devotee who genuinely wished me when I was leaving. So this is extremely powerful. That's why Srila Prabhupada writes in that Dhruva Maharaj 4th canto section, when Dhruva is wanting his mother to go back home, back to Godhead, the Vishnu Dutas say there is an airplane for her. Prabhupada says, I am praying that one of my disciples makes so much advancement that by his devotional service, I can go back home, back to Godhead. So we need this. So therefore, let us not underestimate the importance of blessings. So there are 6 topics I wanted to discuss today. Okay, first we discuss what is emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? Awareness. Awareness of what? Awareness of our needs, emotions, feelings and desires and ability to regulate them. That is emotional intelligence. And we also discussed why we need to develop emotional intelligence. And then the main topic we discussed was how we can develop our emotional intelligence. We discussed first, what did we discuss? Three practical techniques, and out of which the first one was gratitude. And what are the 3 components of gratitude? Specific, fresh and why. And the second practical tool we discussed was appreciation. And what about appreciation? In connection to us, then independent of us, and third, in connection to divinity. And the third practical tool we discussed for developing emotional intelligence was prayer. Where what is prayer? When we choose thoughts and receive Krishna's presence. And then we discussed 3 important principles. The first principle was scriptures. Second, honesty and vulnerability. And third, blessings has 2 aspects. First, praying for others, giving out blessings. And second, depending on the blessings of devotees. That's real association. So you could be 10,000 miles away and you could still be associating with devotees if you're depending on them, on their blessings. So this is the few thoughts I wanted to share on developing emotional intelligence. And in essence, in conclusion, I would just like to say one small thing. Please, let us pause. Let us not equate activities to love of Krishna. It is consciousness. If you are unable to connect with Krishna, pause. Come back to Krishna, reconnect, and let us offer our hearts, offer our service to Krishna. Because sometimes the busyness makes us forget what we are doing, why we are doing. Only when we pause, we can emotionally connect with Krishna. Pause, I don't mean to not do what you are doing. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying, you just pause. I learned it a very hard way. I'll end with this story for sure. We were in a Vrindavan Yatra. I had taken a group of young boys, 25 of them, and I was a young preacher also. This is 2007 when the road from that main road to Govardhan, there's a long road. And that time, there were not so many buildings on both sides. There's only fields. And early morning, I was a manager of the Yatra also. So I declared that everybody should be ready by 4 a.m. The one van we had booked. All 25 of us will be boarding the vehicle by 4:15. We'll reach Govardhan by 5. By 9:30 we are completing the parikrama. By 11 we are back here and 11:30 we have lunch. Okay? Everybody said, yes, Prabhu. So then we planned everything according to the plan, but then our driver was a little spaced out. In the middle of that road, it's dark, that Govardhan road. And he stops the van. He says, there is no gas. I'm like, what the hell? What are we going to do now? He said, I don't know. And all the other devotees, they're chanting quietly. They're walking in the parikrama. I'm a manager. So I'm like desperate. And then, after some time, an elderly Brajvasi, he walks with a lota in his hand. Now, generally, if you see in Vrindavan during those days, if an elderly man is walking in the fields with a lota in his hand, he is going to respond to nature's call. That time, India didn't have that Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, where you clean up India and, there were not many toilets in that area. So people would go to the fields to pass stool and urine. So this man was carrying his lota. And I thought, an old man is going there. And he walks up directly to our van and he says, what is happening? So some of the boys said, we are run out of gas and there's, we are stuck here. He says, I have gas in this petrol. Yeah. So the driver was ready. He said, and he paid him extra money or something. He paid him and we had just enough to reach Govardhan and then the gas station he could go. So he did that and I was happy because I got my thing done and we were on time and finished the yatra, Govardhan Parikrama. Then we came back, we took prasadam. Everything in the yatra went off as planned. But the last session of the yatra was what was the most inspiring experience in the entire Vrindavan Yatra. So I was asking everybody to explain. And almost everyone, unanimously, they were all saying that the best, most inspiring experience was this elderly Brajavasi coming with that petrol. And everybody said, oh, Krishna sent him, or maybe he was Krishna, maybe he was Gopa. Everybody was in that space. Krishna, they were seeing Krishna there. And when they were speaking, I felt each one of them was slapping me and shaking me, humbling me, because that completely slipped out of me. I never realized that it was Krishna sending someone to help us. It's not a coincidence. I mean, you can see it as coincidence if you want to, but the point I'm saying is because I was in the tick mode, I couldn't connect. I was not offering my consciousness to Krishna. I was offering my activities. I was just wanting to get things done. I missed Krishna when he was right there. And these boys whom I was preaching to, they are supposed to learn about Krishna consciousness from me. They taught me such an invaluable lesson. I was very humbled and very inspired after that yatra. So please let us do this exercise every day, spending some moments to see if how Krishna appeared in my life today. And that way, with a culture of scriptures, seeking Vaishnava's blessings, appreciating everyone, we can develop our emotional intelligence, and then we can actually render meaningful service to Srila Prabhupada's community, and we can make our spiritual master Srila Prabhupada proud of us, and we can always remain at their lotus feet and aspire to serve their lordships, Shishyada Golokananda, life after that. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yes, that's I finished early. Yes.
This question may seem sound a little simplistic. My mind sometimes is not able to grasp so much. But you ended with remain at my lotus feet, or Krishna's lotus feet. Could you expand on that a little bit? Thank you.
Remaining at Krishna's lotus feet. What I meant by that was remaining in the shelter of devotees who are attached to Krishna's lotus feet. Ashesha sanklesha samam vidatte gunanuvada shravanam murare kimva punasta charanaravinda paragaseva ratir atma labdha. Srimad Bhagavatam says that Ashesha sanklesha, unlimited anxiety, insecurity we are carrying in our hearts, all of that will be mitigated. All of that will be mitigated if gunanuvada shravanam murare, we glorify Krishna. And then the verse says, this is the interesting part of the verse, if by glorifying and hearing about Krishna we can become happy and peaceful, imagine what will happen to those who are Kimva Punasta Charanaravinda, those who have taken shelter of Krishna's lotus feet completely. And not only that, Paraga Seva. Parag means there is a flavor coming from the lotus feet of Krishna. They are relishing that flavor. So if we can serve them, Ratiratma Labdha, they are already attached to Krishna, they are self-satisfied, they are blissful. If we can get attached to them, who are attached to Krishna, then we are also at the lotus feet of Krishna. So it was in that space, in that context I was saying. Also our entire Gaudiya Vaishnava mood, ISKCON mood is, we want Krishna, but we want to go through devotees. I was I'm not learned or studied all the Acharya's commentaries, but I've heard this, that Srila Jiva Goswami, our main Acharyas, Srila Jiva Goswami has explained a purport to the verse which Rupa Goswami wrote. Anarpita Charim Chira, this verse where Lord Chaitanya is declared as the most munificent incarnation. So while giving a commentary on this verse, Srila Jiva Goswami says, love of Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave, is that his speciality? Well, love of Krishna even Prahlad had. Love of Krishna even Narada Muni had. What is so unique about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu giving love of Krishna? So Jiva Goswami says, what is unique is, he gave us love of Krishna through devotees. Through serving devotees, we get love of Krishna. That was his very unique contribution. So in our mood, our entire mood is, we want blessings of devotees, because then that's how we get Krishna. Kabe Sri Chaitanya More Koribe no doya, Kabe Ami Pai Bo Vaishnava Pada Chaya. I will get Lord Chaitanya's mercy when I get Vaishnava's blessings. What is the best part about this? When we go to a devotee and sincerely pray, I'm suffering, Prabhu, please help me, please pray for me. You know what the devotees do? Samsara anala hoite magibe vishram. We beg them, I'm suffering, please help me. And then what will the Vaishnava do? What do you think he will do? First we tell him cryingly, Kandiya jana iba dukkha gram, I'm crying. I'm suffering so much. And the devotee is very merciful. What does he do? Shunya, okay, you can repeat this verse after me. Shunya amara dukkha, Vaishnava Thakur, Amalagi Krishna Amalagi Krishna Abe Dibena Prachur. Did you get the meaning of this verse? It says that Vaishnava hears my plight, Shunya Amara Dukkha, and what does he do? Vaishnava Thakur, on my behalf, he goes to Krishna. And he tells Krishna, Krishna, this Prabhu is suffering so much. Please help him, or he needs your... And then what does Krishna do? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in the last line, Krishna can't refuse. Vaishnavera Nivedana Krishna Dayamay Enapa Amara Prati Habena Sadai. Krishna says, oh, this Vaishnava has prayed. Okay, I'll help him. So we depend on devotees' blessings. It's actually easy to glorify Krishna and to come and bow down before Krishna, because even in this world, we always respect powerful people. We like to flatter them, honor them. It's easy. Of course, it requires humility to accept God, but it is relatively easy. But it requires a lot of more humility to worship equals and juniors. Like Narottam Das Thakur's bhajan, he begins by glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Karo More, and then Nityananda Prabhu, Aha Prabhu Nityananda, and then Advaita Acharya, and then Srinivas is equal. And then what is the last line? Ramachandra Sangam Age. Ramachandra is his junior. So we need blessings of everyone. Junior, Chota Bada Bhaktagan, Sabara Charana Vandan, everybody's lotus feet, we want to fall and take their blessings. So this is our mood. So in that context, I was saying that we need to take shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. Is that okay, bro? Thank you. Mataji, yes. Yeah, Mataji first. Yeah.
My question is, there are three choices. Thank you for the amazing lecture. Prabhu, you mentioned about three choices we have, right? The thoughts can be the tamasic, rajasic, or sattvic. So it's not always that the mind, or we consciously choose the sattvic thought. Sometimes we definitely go through the Rajasic and Tamasic thoughts. So how do you come out of it or uplift it, or how do you get it to Sattvic, or how do you again remember Krishna?
You take a break in a day sometimes. Do you go to the washroom? Do you take a break 3 or 4 times a day, right? Why not take a break to connect with Krishna? If you love someone and if you're in a faraway country, won't you call that person you love at least once or twice a day? Why not? Our calling system is this. Call Krishna. Krishna, I was lost. These Rajasic, Tamasic thoughts blew me away, but now I am back with you, Krishna. Coming back to Krishna is more important right now for us than choosing Krishna always, because you're not unable to choose Krishna. Come back. Call Krishna. Krishna, I'm sorry I lost you. That's why in the end I said, take a break, pause, press the pause button. Devotees are scared. I did a seminar for leaders once called Art of Relaxation. 20 leaders who are managing a community of 5,000. And all of them were so jittery and uncomfortable. And one of them, he just lost it. He said, Prabhu, if we learn relaxation, then our community will just eat pizza and gulab jamun and sleep. I said, did I say relax a whole day? I didn't say that. I didn't even say relax every day. I just said, just take a break. Just connect with Krishna. Relaxation sometimes becomes a swear word. But no, I meant pause. Connect. Otherwise you'll be lost. Call Krishna. Connect with Krishna. Because Krishna is always waiting. Krishna is always ready. I'll tell you this, the true story of my very close friend, Grahastha. He told me this. He is studying for an exam. He wants to become, there's some technical exams in his career. If he clears that, all his EMIs can be sorted out and his life can be smooth. So he traveled to another city and he was studying there. And he and his wife, they have a good relationship. They're a nice family. They have known each other for almost 20 years now. So they are a very good family. But he said this story to me. He said, at night, 1 o'clock, he was hit by panic attack because he was studying for these exams. And it was a few days later, the exam was about to happen. And he just was feeling so nervous. So he called his wife. And she was alarmed because at 1 o'clock, if she's getting a phone call, she immediately picked it up. And she said, what happened? And then they spoke for an hour. And then he felt pacified because she kind of encouraged him. And he was relieved. And he was telling me that, Prabhu, I'm so grateful that Krishna has given me such a nice companion. I'm so glad that I could call her. And she was there for me. But there was one small thing that disappointed me. Although it's not my wife's fault. She's perfectly justified in what she told me. But I felt a little disappointed because I realized that I can't get what I really want in this material world. Because just when they were about to hang up, his wife told him, Prabhu, we could have also discussed this later in the day at 10 o'clock. Because now you know that I have to pack my lunch for our kids. I have to send them to school. It's such a tight schedule. We could have always, and then of course she was nice to him. He says, he's not criticizing, he's not complaining. It's just that little disappointment that there are human limitations. And as he was saying this, I said, Prabhu, you could have called Krishna. You could have picked up your beat bag and Krishna won't get disturbed. Krishna won't say, why did you call me now? So the point is, Krishna is waiting. Right? So take a break. Somehow come back to Krishna. Is that okay? Hare Krishna.
Thanks for the class. I'm wondering how you see these practices in relation to Swarup Siddha.
In relation to? Oh, I don't know. I don't even. Switch off the mic here. I can hear you here. How are these practices related to Swarup Siddha Bhakti? Okay. I'm not much educated on this. I don't know these symptoms of Swarup Siddha Bhakti so much. I don't know anything about it in fact. But I'm sure there are other devotees here who can throw light on this topic. But I can say one thing. There is, sadhana bhakti, what we are practicing is called sadhana, right? We are practicing to love Krishna. We are chanting Hare Krishna so that we can love Krishna. But pure devotees who have attained their Swarup Siddha, they are chanting Hare Krishna not because they want to develop love of Krishna. They are chanting Hare Krishna because they love Krishna. Right? So ours is executive bhakti. We are executing bhakti. What they are practicing is effective bhakti. It is an effect of bhakti. So far, clear? So now at our stage, because we are executing bhakti, we may need some of these other practices to help us attain love of Krishna. Like Sanatana Goswami in Hari Bhakti Vilas, in the 14th chapter, he explains very clearly how devotees should do pranayam, breathing, before deity worship, before chanting. So he gives these tools for devotees. Because we are chanting to get love of Krishna. Pure devotees are chanting because they have love of Krishna. That is a very big difference. It's a very, very big difference. Like one day I was doing this pranayam outside the temple hall before I went for japa. So one devotee later told me, Prabhu, won't Hare Krishna solve everything? Why do you have to chant? Why do you have to do this breathing? I said, no, Hare Krishna is everything, but I'm doing breathing so that I can chant, I can offer chanting better to Krishna. He said, but what is the need? So I said, there may be no need for you, but I need it because it helps me connect to Krishna. Then I gave an example. I said, Prabhu, you decide whether I'm making advancement or not. But when I was a young devotee, I wanted to chant Hare Krishna because I wanted peace of mind. I used to chant Hare Krishna so that I can be peaceful. And now I want to be a little peaceful so that I can chant Hare Krishna. So, you take a call, you decide whether I'm on the right track or not. Earlier, chanting was a means for me. But now, breathing is a means so that I can chant Hare Krishna. For Swarup Siddha Bhaktas, I don't know, because I haven't studied much, I haven't reached there yet. But if somebody else would like to answer, any scholars here, any devotees who know the answers, would you like to answer this? No? Okay, I'll not embarrass anyone here. I don't want to take names. But anybody would like to answer this question? Hare Krishna. Is that okay, bro? Thank you. We'll stop here. Okay, once again, my sincere gratitude to all the devotees here at Goloka, New Goloka Dham. And please forgive, I was here for 3 days. I was very, I was expressive. I may have spoken or said anything inappropriate. Anytime, please forgive me. And please keep me in your prayers. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.